life has a way of loading you down as you climb to the top. We just collect more responsibilities, marriages, homes, kids, volunteer and work commitments. And a big life can weigh a lot. At the same time, we're steadily losing the energy and even the passion that we once had just when we needed it the most. This phenomenon is what I call the conqueror's curse. Winning life's battles when you're young loads you down with more territory you got to defend when you get older. You're spread thin and fighting on multiple fronts, even as the energy you once had for the fight diminishes. If you knew how driven and independent my clients were, you'd understand what a bitter pill that is for them to swallow. Some clients come to me because their progress in life has slowed to a halt. They know they have the potential to do more, but they're so loaded down with responsibilities, they can't seem to move an inch. In fact, they've started to sense that the tide of the battle is shifting against them. Often the best they can do is mount a brave defense, keeping the enemy at bay to maintain their position for as long as possible. But any victories they have are just eclipsed by the sense that they are nevertheless slowly losing the war. Without that forward momentum, their valiant efforts just give way to frustration and defeatism. Other clients come to me in denial that the tide has turned against them. They don't want to see that they're losing more weeks than they're winning. But deep down, they still feel it. That creeping sense of dread, the permanent low-grade anxiety, which means that more often than not, they deny themselves permission to live life to its fullest. And that makes a twisted kind of sense because it's impossible to relax when the enemy is at your gates. But worse by far are the clients I call grinders. These are highly motivated individuals used to putting their head down and doing the hard work. Their entire life, their superpower has been ignoring pain and discomfort and just getting the work done. But all the things they stuffed away in youth are now exploding like a volcano in midlife. I've seen the results firsthand, and it can be an ugly reckoning. Let me ask you, is this ringing any bells? Do you give it your all at work, but still feel like you're falling behind? Or do you feel trapped beneath your potential while all your energy is devoted to keeping your head above water? And maybe because of that, are you denying yourself permission to really enjoy your life? Nearly working myself to death. It sure rings bells for me because I lived that life too. In July of 2010, I was in the prime of my career. I'd just been promoted and was now one of the youngest senior equity analysts on Wall Street. I was making regular television appearances on financial news networks like CNBC, Bloomberg TV, and Fox Business News. But instead of flying high, I was flat on my back, literally recovering from surgery in a hospital bed. This was my second surgery to battle the runaway effects of an intense but mysterious autoimmune disorder. Now, I'll spare you the gruesome details of how my digestive system went awry, but it wasn't pretty. I tried to ignore it as long as I could, just hoping it would go away. But now it was affecting my work, taking me out for days and weeks at a stretch. I wasn't a hot shot, I was a hot mess. Now, my doctors were puzzled by someone so young suddenly starting to see critical system failures. As happens so often in the case of autoimmune diseases, the doctors couldn't agree on a diagnosis. And the treatments they tried weren't working. Finally, one doctor thought to ask me, "How many hours are you working, by the way?" "Never less than 80 hours a week, sometimes as many as 100, I bragged. You see, I wasn't remotely ashamed of my long working hours. Like many New Yorkers, it was a point of personal pride. Now, in case you're not familiar, the work culture in New York City is brutal. They celebrate hustle culture, which is a euphemism for brute forcing your way to success by working around the clock. And I was a true believer in the cult of hard work. I worked nights and weekends all throughout my 20s and 30s. Even as I suffered consequences like ill health and massive weight gain and failed relationships, I knew it would eventually all pay off with interest. But I was wrong. It didn't pay off. It landed me in the hospital facing the risk of an early death. And just like a believer losing faith in his religion, I felt betrayed and stupid and lost.